Okay, so let's talk about the Titanic. It's this wreck, right? Lying in total, silent darkness at the bottom of the ocean. And yet somehow its story still speaks to us, even more than 100 years later.
I mean, think about it. For decades, we have poured millions upon millions of dollars into developing technology just to get a glimpse of this thing. So what is it? What's the profound attraction to this ghost in the deep? Why can't we, as a culture, just look away?
All right, to really get a handle on this obsession, I think we have to go there ourselves. So come on, let's take a dive. We're descending to the wreck way down on the floor of the North Atlantic. And you gotta understand, this is a vast, alien world, completely hostile to human life.
Okay, first thing you'd notice? The pressure. It's just immense. We're talking more than 370 kilograms pressing down on every single square centimeter of your body. It's this unbelievable crushing force that has basically dictated the fate of the wreck and everything inside it.
And here's the thing a lot of people don't realize. The ship didn't sink neatly in one piece. Nope, it left this colossal debris field just scattered over 400 hectares of the seabed. So you could imagine, for the early explorers trying to map this huge pitch-black site, it was basically impossible.
And this quote from a submersible pilot, it just nails it. Just think about that. Trying to piece together a puzzle that massive in total darkness with just one tiny beam of light. For decades, that's exactly what it was like.
Okay, so that's the scene. But to really understand the wreck, we have to rewind and look at the disaster that created it in the first place. And really, the first layer of our obsession lies in the just almost unbelievable scale of the tragedy.
So out of nearly 2,250 people on that ship, a staggering 1,496 of them died. They perished in that freezing, black water. And their fates, they were sealed in just 2 hours and 40 minutes. Think about that. That's a terrifyingly short amount of time for an entire world to just end.
And what played out in those 2 hours was this stark drama of human behavior at its absolute extremes. On one hand, you had incredible honor. Take the ship's designer, Thomas Andrews. He reportedly went down with his creation. But then you had profound cowardice. J. Bruce Ismay, the president of the company. He's the guy who not only cut the number of lifeboats, but then he actually stepped onto one to save himself.
You know, this wasn't just one mistake. It was a literal, perfect storm of events. You had these incredible acts of heroism mixed with these fatal, tragic misjudgments. They all converged to create this unbelievable loss. It was like everything that could possibly go wrong did.
So that's the human tragedy. But the story, it's so much bigger than that. The Titanic stopped being just a ship. It became this incredibly powerful, almost philosophical symbol. And you know who said it best? James Cameron, the guy who's explored the wreck more than anyone. He called it a broken dream. See, the ship was this glittering promise of human mastery over nature. It was the peak of technological confidence. And then, right before Europe plunged into the absolute chaos of World War I, that promise was completely shattered by a chunk of ancient ice. The hubris is just incredible.
Fast forward to today, and modern exploration has basically turned the wreck into a forensic crime scene. And by studying it, we've been able to piece together the violent, chaotic, final moments of its descent. See, the ship didn't just slip beneath the waves peacefully. No, it was violently torn in two. The bow section actually planed through the water pretty gracefully, but it hit the bottom with so much force it buried itself deep in the mud. The stern, though, the stern had a much more gruesome fate. It tumbled down in what explorers called a diabolical spiral, imploding on itself as that insane pressure just crushed it like a tin can. And this quote from one of the team members says it all. To decipher the stern wreck, you have to be a Picasso fanatic. That perfectly describes what's left down there. It's not something you'd recognize as part of a ship. It's just a mangled, twisted, abstract sculpture of metal, a testament to the absolutely brutal forces at play in the abyss.
So we have the tragedy, the symbolism, the forensics. But maybe the most complete answer for why we're still obsessed is this. The Titanic isn't a static, dead relic. It's a site that is, believe it or not, still very much alive. It's still evolving.
I'm not kidding. The wreck is literally being eaten. In 2010, scientists discovered a brand new species of bacteria down there, and they named it Halomonas titanici. What does it do? It eats iron. All those long, icicle-looking things you see hanging off the wreck, those are rusticles,
They're massive colonies of these microorganisms, and they are slowly but surely devouring the iron skeleton of the industrial age.
And as it's being eaten, iconic features have collapsed. You know the ship's famous grand staircase? It's gone. It's just a gaping hole now, which James Cameron described as an empty eye socket. But here's the twist. This decay created an opportunity. It became an entry point, allowing robotic explorers to finally venture deep into the heart of the ship, where they found these haunting echoes of the lives that were lost.
I mean, they found things like crystal chandeliers, silver mirrors, mahogany paneling, brass beds. But then they found the truly personal stuff. A felt bowler hat, just sitting on the seabed right where it landed over a century ago. It belonged to a passenger named Henry Harper. It's things like that, you know? These discoveries transform the wreckage from just some twisted metal into a deeply, deeply human memorial.
And maybe this is the ultimate reason we're all so fascinated. The actor Bill Paxton, who was also an explorer of the wreck, put it perfectly. He said, "It all comes down to one question. What would we have done?" The wreck holds up a mirror to all of us. It forces us to ask ourselves these timeless questions about courage, about responsibility, about our own mortality. And that, right there, is the question the ghost in the abyss will keep asking us for as long as it remains.